nice and hot, or they might be freezing. Who knows?
Let's go.
Here we are. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
No one got abducted. No one got savaged by a ghost by the looks of it. So
if they did get abducted, the aliens brought them back. So
absolutely. Yeah. How would you know?
And we would have had the time gain or time loss. So we would never know anyway.
Lose track of time over the Christmas holidays, huh?
Oh, I didn't even know what day it was. I thought it was Sunday yesterday. Yeah. So, yeah, that did not help at all.
My week is all thrown off because I was off Monday and I was off yesterday.
Yeah.
It just all bleeds into one big long day over that period.
It's just, yeah.
So last if you lose time over New Year, do you lose a year? If it goes over midnight?
That's too much of that, Abbie. That's what you lost time.
Too much
vino. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for coming on. So, we're all good to go. Yes? You all have your topics. Yeah. You do not know what they are. Oh, we're going to be doing... Are we doing the gong? Nearly forgot.
Yeah, you need to do the gong, always.
Yeah. Gong is mandatory.
So the gong is, if you talk for too long, you will get gonged, including myself. I do actually gong myself, just to make it fair. So we
have a limited amount of time and a lot of topics to get through, so the gong is necessary.
It is.
Yeah, so we have 8 topics. Each topic has a number. Each of you guys have a number, and then we just go through that. We have about 15-20 minutes per topic, and there are 7 topics. Well, there's 8 topics because we've got a wild card. So that's for us all to jump in on. So when each of you get your topic, it just makes it fair that it gives everyone a chance to talk rather than certain people being left out and a lot of people talking, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I mean? It just gives chance for everyone to talk. Even if you don't know anything about it, you just go, not got a clue. And then
bullshit for the next 15 minutes.
I'll just ask ChatGPT.
Yeah. Do a dance, sing, do some shadow puppet. I don't know. Whatever you want.
I brought my own bong. Is that okay?
Oh, fantastic.
Right. So, where should we start? Because you guys don't have your numbers. So, go on, Nicole, because you missed the last one. You pick the first number.
7.
No.
Have you switched Andy up already?
That's me.
Brilliant. I love it.
So I'm just going to copy and paste and put it in the chat. You're going to wish you never did.
Before we start, did we check the AI background today?
Yes.
Okay.
I did this one myself. It's all good.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's nothing dodgy on this.
Yeah.
So
I'm glad to see you've renamed the Power Hour as well.
Yes, I have. So this is what I've got. When it comes up, I will share it on the screen. Personal encounters and frontline investigations. So you can have benchman, bench guy,
pterodactyl,
Whatever you want, you lot choose.
I think it's been a while since we've heard Silent Helicopter.
Ooh. So do you all know about this?
No.
Kind
I
of.
remember you mentioning it.
Kind of.
Everybody knows Bench Guy.
Yeah.
You talking about silent helicopter? Is that what you said? Silent?
Yeah, silent helicopter. Like
yeah.
Zero
Airwolf.
Noise.
Like Airwolf.
Yeah. Imagine Airwolf, but someone's turned your hearing aids off. Yeah.
Like in Mel Gibson's conspiracy theory, the silent helicopters.
Yeah, pretty much. So, this is probably around about between 1 and 3 years after having my first UFO encounter. So, where I grew up in Manchester, the back of the house overlooked fields and a golf course and a sewerage farm, and it was just like common land. Like, you used to go, it was a lovely place. Stunk in the summer, but it was all right the rest of the time. But you could, there's like the place called Eccles Field, so there's a path and you could walk, and there's an old train line that went across there and all that. So, one afternoon, I don't know if it's what day it was, no idea. And I was just, because you could see the planes circling, waiting to land at Manchester Airport. So I usually stand at the window watching them. You could see all the wildlife as well, like the heron, rabbits, hares, whatever, just running across the fields and what have you. And I'm just looking out the window. So I'm probably about between the ages of 9 and 12. I'd say, I think, nearer to the age of 9. And I'm looking out the window, and you'd see like light aircraft, because there's an aerodrome a couple of miles down the road, like in a straight line. But there's one of these helicopters was coming over. I'm like, oh, not seen that for a while. And as a kid, you get excited. So it's coming over, and I'm like, well, it's getting a little bit too close. And then as it got like right up to, like, it was literally over the back garden. So we had a massive back garden. It's probably about, I'd say about 150, 200 foot long, and probably about 75 to 100 foot wide. It was massive. And then at the back of that, like I said, it was just fields. There's an allotment and a park, and then the sewage farm, the golf course and all that. And it come right over. So there's trees at the back, but they weren't as tall as what they are now. And it was just there. It was dipped forward. I could see the pilot and the co-pilot. I could see the facial expressions, the hairstyle. They had I call them the scooter helmets. Do you know, like the bowling ball helmet? Like the round one. They have the peak on it.
One.
And then the big, not goggles, not like Biggles goggles, but like the
visor.
Yeah, but like the oiled. So you can see the colours in it. So the pilot was wearing that. The co-pilot didn't have any goggles on. But you could tell he had a mullet. He had a proper 80s moustache. You know, like the Barry McGuigan moustache, like Magnum, that sort of thing. And it was dipped, and just like that. And it lit their screen, where they were sat in the cockpit, was level with my bedroom window. And I'd say it was less than 50 foot away from me. So you can see the blades are going, the tail, everything. The more I think about it, the more ridiculous this sounds, the more out of proportion it gets. So it was a Huey. It had cannons, guns on the side. I thought it was an Apache, but it was round. It's like, do you like the old buses, like had a round front?
Goldfish ball type thing at the front.
Yeah.
Like a goldfish ball.
So there's only me and my mum in the house. I had an older brother, and I think my dad was at work. And I'm just watching it, and it's doing all these different manoeuvres, going like upside down, looping and twisting, and then going out across the fields and coming back. And then my mum was going out somewhere. So where I grew up, it was there's only 10 houses in the street, and we lived in a semi-detached on the right-hand side. Right, I'm just seeing if we've got any pictures up because I did some AI pictures of it. And it was doing all these manoeuvres. So we went out, my mum shouted me to come downstairs and we go out. So walking up the street's only like 30 yards long. Like I said, there's only 10 houses in there. So, and then I can see it between ours and next door, and it's still doing these manoeuvres above the house. And I got scared then because I'm outside. I'm watching this army helicopter, military helicopter, doing whatever it's doing, still being able to see these two people in it. But then it wasn't until I started talking about it last year that I realised there was no sound coming from it. Because my mum was talking to me and my mum didn't acknowledge anything that was going on with the helicopter. She weren't stood there. Look, I'm like proper just like walking backwards slowly out the street. And my mum's telling me, come on, hurry up, we've got to go. And I'm like, as I think about it, why is she not responding to what's going on? And absolutely nothing. And then it just flies off. And then I just walk up the street. I don't even say anything to my mum about it. I don't think, why did she not see it, or that I have to tell her that it was there, anything like that. Just absolutely nothing. And this must have gone on for about, I'd say 15, 20 minutes.
Wow.
And never seen anything like it since or before that. So
That's interesting.
That was it.
Bizarre.
But like I said, no sound. I can draw the people. No, I won't draw the people. You see me Krampus drawing. But I could, when you have these people like, what are they called when they're looking for someone and you tell them what they look like and they draw it, they always get it bang on. If I was give the description to one of them, I reckon they'd get it straight away. They'd be absolutely spot on as to what they look like. But you could see the tunics on, the vest, the seatbelt, the headphones, the mouthpiece coming around, everything. You could see all the controls inside the helicopter. Like I said, it had guns on the side.
You consider the screen memory theory?
Well, like I said, it wasn't until I started talking about this when Nickname was on that I actually realised it definitely was not a helicopter. That's what I was shown.
Yeah.
As to what it actually was, not got a clue. I couldn't tell you because I didn't see anything other than this helicopter.
Well, I mean, I will say, I don't want to hijack your talking, of course, but I've dealt with numerous contact experiences where people have seen helicopters with pilots, with the goggles, or with like helmets on, exactly like what you're describing. And then under hypnosis, they see, it's been a saucer or whatever with grey beings numerous times off completely independent individuals from around the world. So it would fit with that for me.
Yeah, and the thing as well,
that's what it was.
Like I said, because they was level with me, they weren't looking at me. They was just like blank expressions, like they'd just do this all the time, like they're driving down the road. They're not like
driving their spaceship.
Didn't wave, didn't smile, nothing.
Yeah.
And there was no air shows on or anything like that, Andy?
No. So we used to...
Like a specialist air show kind of thing.
Well, you've got Barton Aerodrome. You used to have Barton Air Show every year.
Yeah.
As the crow flies, probably about 2.5 miles from where I grew up.
Right.
So we used to have the Red Arrows and that coming over and the B-52 bombers, and they'd do all the practicing, but that'd be nearer to the time. But this was just one helicopter. I couldn't even tell you what time of year it was. Not got a clue. It was just this one, and there's both dressed in military gear. You'd get a few like coming over and going round, like you said, and they'd circle ready for landing at Manchester Airport, or you'd have the weather plane or the weather helicopter coming over. And then, obviously, going into the 90s, you get the police helicopter and all that going on. And you can hear them miles away. This was absolutely zero sound coming from it. But you could see I don't know what they're called.
Sounds like one of those time trap stories. Those time trap stories where there's a street in Liverpool. There's stories of people walking down a certain street. That's it. and then go into like another timeline kind of thing and see people from a different era.
Yeah.
But also, like, back to the screen memories thing, so in some of the cases I've investigated, the vehicles, the aerial vehicles I've seen, it's not always helicopters, by the way, sometimes it's aircraft. They've been old-fashioned. So people have seen things like World War I biplanes and things like that. I've had numerous independent cases involving biplanes. Now, you could say that some of them are misidentifications of air chases, but is it, if it is a screen memory, is it that the beings don't realise that it's from a different time period and that would be spotted and they're just picking something at random or whatever, and they don't realise that the time difference is something that people would say that doesn't seem right?
But you've just triggered something with that, Dave. So, like I said, we used to see all the different planes because you had the air shows and the aerodrome, and then obviously Manchester Airport. We used to see the biplanes and that flying over. So, and like you have Spitfires. Growing up and you hear all these different types of engines, you get to know what plane is what. You just get used to the night. That's how often it was going on.
Yeah.
But what if these others that I was seeing weren't actually what I thought they were? What if they were some sort of screen memory as well?
Yeah, we've gotten a lot of helicopters flown over here the past year or so. We're at the shop here, and I actually was documenting a lot of them, and we were capturing a lot of weird objects very near the helicopters that would fly really low, and like you described, seeing the pilot, like I got footage of like everything.
Like I'm looking at you guys now. Yeah.
And but you always hear, you could feel it when it's coming because it vibrates, and it's loud. But always hear it and feel it. So it's fascinating that you didn't. Did you feel anything?
Nope, nothing.
You don't feel any draft from the blades going round or anything?
That's the thing. There's no draft. And my mum would have seen something. My mum would have gone, "Oh, you know what I mean?"
Yeah.
It's like there's nothing.
I mean, have you asked your mom about this recently? Be like, hey, you remember that time the helicopter basically abducted me?
She's not here anymore, so.
Oh.
No, that's right. So, and because they only just started talking about this the last couple of years, and there's only me and my mum there's no one else that I could go to find anything else out about it. So, I don't know.
The thing with the sound, obviously some people would be skeptical of sound and would say, the wind was blowing another direction, has blown the noise away. But it sounds like that it was too close for that to be the case, Like,
it was literally touching the roof.
Yeah.
But the way it was touching the roof, the blades or the tail should have hit either our roof or next door's. The gap between the houses, because there's two lots. So there's a row of 4, and then 2 lots of semis. So there was the row of 4 on the end house, and that was a straight line. Then ours and next doors were at an angle like that. So it kind of like that shape. And the gap, because that house was at an angle to the other house, so it was like at a point, the gap was quite close. So we had a big back gate going into the back garden. And I used to be, so I'd climb over the fence rather than keep opening the gate. So I'd climb on the fence, lean on next door's wall, push myself up, and then I'd go around. Just a lazy way of getting around it. So I'd climb up, push, and then go back to the other side. That's how close the house was. And this is, like I said, 9-year-old kid being able to do that. It was literally 2 foot away from the fence. So the gap between the roofs was no more than 10, 12 foot. And you would have got a helicopter in that.
And just the fact that you were 9 years old and you have such a vivid memory of this is really telling too, because this made an impact on you.
Yeah. And the more I think about it, the more it kind of sits there.
Mm-hmm.
And Andy, honestly, I feel even though your mom may not be here, I think you can still ask her. So I want to try that.
Yes,
that's a good point.
I never thought of that.
We can call one of the Roberts.
Yes, if they ever reply to anything I ever send them, because they're useless.
Hey, quick question: what color were those rabbits or hares you were that you seen?
Ooh, the white
right
rabbit.
Before it? Yeah.
Oh no,
that's
they
exactly
were like.
I was thinking.
No, they're just brown and just like a soft brown colour.
All right, I guess don't follow that one. Huh?
Nothing to excite them. No.
TikTok.
But yeah, that was a helicopter incident, and it was a Huey, and I've actually got one hanging from the ceiling. I don't know if you'll be able to see it.
They're also an old helicopter, aren't they?
Sorry?
They're an old helicopter as well, aren't they? They were like in the 60s, like Vietnam and stuff.
Yes. And they were the ones that were used for the before the Apaches.
Yeah.
Stephen said if it had been a real helicopter, it would have been in a lot of trouble with the civil aviation authority.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know what just came to mind? You know how they have like phantom ghost ships and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
I've never heard of like a phantom
Helicopter.
like airplane or helicopter or something like that.
I have heard
weird.
stories of phantom planes.
Yeah, you get over tiny clouds, don't you?
Planes taking off and landing.
Yeah.
And again, they've been silent, exactly like you're describing. It's been like a silent plane, sort of similar to an old-fashioned plane from the war. And it's completely out of place, and it's nowhere near any air shows that are on at the time, and it's completely silent. This is the thing, a lot of these stories, just like yours, I mean, that happened to you, it's a real incident. And you've always got these different ways of interpreting it. Was it supernatural? Was it something alien? Was it something else entirely? Time slips was mentioned there, and that's what's fascinating, trying to get to the bottom of these cases and what the actual solution is. Something odd has gone on, but there's usually multiple ways of interpreting incidents, isn't there? Which is really interesting.
Yeah.
So with these ghost planes and things like that, do you think they're actually actual ghost planes, like the stuff you get at Shining Clouds and David Stowe Airfield and all the rest of it, or is it something else? Is it something masking as a plane?
I don't know. I mean, but you see how many airplanes in the sky every day. How do you know that they're all like real airplanes? They could just be screened. They could be, the ghost ships you're just not close enough to realize.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I've always found strange about UFOs. It would be so easy for them to mimic our aviation strobe lights that we just, it's just a plane. Do you know what I mean? So, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Why show up with like a bunch of bright lights, like a disco party? Like, we're here. Like,
just mimic aviation lights.
That's one of the kind of interesting aspects of it is the lighting and the way that because there's like loads of cases where they don't have any lights at all, and then there's other ones where they're completely covered in all sorts of lights. Now you could say, you could easily dismiss the ones that you could say, they're hoaxes, but that's a stupid simple way out. I've thought long and hard about this sort of thing, and it's possible that maybe they are doing something different. Like certain things that they're up to will require the display of those lights, and then people are like, well, they're acting covert, aren't they? So why do they care? But they don't always act covert. So there's so many kind of levels to this. Maybe they're intentionally being seen sometimes. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they don't care whether people see them or not. But we're getting off topic and we're moving too far away from your.
That's fine.
Before we bring it back to the topic, can I say for the record, I would love to freaking see a giant disco ball UFO just come down, like the aliens come out.
I think many of us would be terrifying as well.
Wearing spandex.
Right?
Now that's a paranormal party.
Yeah, that's a different type of show.
Completely.
Not going there.
Only fans go on there.
You ready? You know what it is, don't you? Did you get it?
No.
What is happening right now?
What?
Too early in the
gong?
Yeah, we got the gong.
Oh, yeah, that's what I said.
Is that what you're checking?
Studios.
Talk about ABBA.
You got
something magic supposed to happen?
I thought it was ranked Paramount Films.
I gonged everyone.
We thought you were gonging yourself.
All right, we have a question real quick before we move on to the next topic. A couple people answered in the chat. But what kind of pizza does everybody have?
Barbecue meat feast with cheese stuffed crust.
I've got
all
cheese
in
stuffed
one
crust.
All in one with everything on it.
Cheese stuffed crust, 4 cheese with extra cheese, coriander, and garlic.
Yum.
Mm.
Wow.
Double pepperoni over here.
Basic bitch.
Classic.
Cloaked pizza.
Wait, who's the basic bitch?
I'm a basic bitch. I have cheese.
I have cheese. It's just not the pizza, just the cheese. I'm skipping the pizza and just going straight for the cheese.
Is it still a pizza if it's just a round piece of cheese? That's the question.
It's round, it does.
If you have a couple of tomatoes on it, then yeah, you're fine.
Have a cracker, have a tomato.
And a slice of pineapple.
I have a stuffed pepper. Does that count?
Yeah. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let it slide.
Right. Who wants to pick a number?
Abbie, pick a number.
Oh, I'm going to go for number 4.
Oh, that's David. David with a Y.
Oh, okay.
I guess the pizza will have
David
to wait.
with a Y.
Sorry, David.
Yes.
This is yours. This is a good one. I'm kind of gutted I didn't get this.
Ooh.
Shadow entities and the Hatman phenomena.
Oh man, I love this one.
It's a good one, man. Shadow entities. What are they? Are they ghosts? Are they from another dimension? I like to. I don't know if you guys know who Brian Bowden is, but his theory is my favorite theory.
Yeah,
I really like his theory because I, down the rabbit hole, I share a lot of videos, a lot of paranormal videos on my social media accounts. I come across shadow entities all the time. Some of them look see-through, like they're shadows, but you can see through them. Others are very dark, almost darker than dark. Like it's like looking into a void. Those I actually believe could be from a higher dimension, creatures from a higher dimension. And Brian Bowden's theory is one of my favorites. He says those are definitely from a higher dimension that feed off the fear of people. So if you have one in your house that you can see darker than dark, and it's like taunting you, it's trying to scare you, it's peeking around the corner. When you get scared, apparently it feeds off of that. So if you run or you scream or you're all sorts of peril, it's taking from you and it's going to keep coming back to feed off of you. If you go directly to it and you let it know that you're not afraid, and you scream at it and you attack it and you punch at it, even though you're not hitting anything, it will leave you alone. And he's actually proven this theory. It's actually had that issue. Another friend of mine, a co-host of my show, The Real Verdict, Kevin Sapiel Jr., he's the host of Where the Weird Ones Are. He has one in his house. He had one in his house. And it was haunting him. And finally he tried to attack it. Because I don't know if y'all know Kevin, but Kevin's a big guy. He's got muscles and all this, and he fights in the cage and all that stuff. Well, he tried to attack it, and it's gone now. It has not come back. And so I guess that theory has some legs. I don't know. But, like my show, I don't really know. I don't know the answer to that, really. But I like that theory. The Hatman, though. The Hatman kind of makes me think of something like Mothman. It's kind of a harbinger of doom, and it's every time you see the Mothman, something bad happens. A bridge collapses, or there's a massive whatever, right? The Hatman, apparently, when it shows itself, it means something bad is coming into your life. This is the theory. This is what a lot of people talk about. I have tons of videos of the Hatman. It is a creepy, shadowy entity that just appears. There's been people that have videos where they're walking through a room and they can capture a dude with a hat in there, but it's just a shadow. When they go back, it's completely gone. Usually follows by something horrible.
Yeah, can I just do a quick input? So I've interviewed Heidi Hollis, and she's like done the name the Hat Man, but she said, and you can go back and watch it, that you can have. So there's been reports of the Hat Man in different places roughly the same time, but even though it's only like one entity, you can have more than one in more than one place, and they have different hats. It's
like
not
a
just
derby
the
backwards cap or something.
He has a
all
beanie.
sorts.
Yeah, beanie. Hey.
I don't think they've modernised that much. It's normally either the top hat or the Dick Tracy, isn't it?
Yeah, like a fedora type hat. Yeah.
Fedora.
That's the one I see commonly.
But
what's that?
She also said,
I've seen a Hat Man.
You've seen the Hat Man?
I don't know if it was a Hat Man or if it was a shadow figure with a hat, but it was a shadow that had a hat on.
he might have been practicing his Hat Man. He might have been going next level up and thought, I'll try different hats, see what suits me, and then
No, that's
go
the
from there.
Scat Man.
Oh, yeah. But she also said that the Hat Man's been seen with dreads.
With dreads?
What?
Yep. That's what she told me.
What kind of hat did he have on with his dress?
A Rasta hat.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
Wow.
Rasta
Sounds
man.
like Papa Legbar kind of thing.
Papa Leg. That's what I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
Papa Legs one,
And
man.
exactly, I was just trying to think, is his name
Yeah.
Papa Legbar? That
Maybe
sounds like.
it's time travelers, right? Maybe it's another dimension of reality, and other people coming through, and so they can show up in different forms and the different shapes, wearing different hats or wearing different hairstyles. Yeah, maybe some of a buzz cut. Who knows, right? But every time they turn up, every time they turn up, they're always in this kind of other worldly form, that appears to us as just a shadowy shape. It's an interesting one, isn't it?
Yes.
My
I love
son saw it, and then I saw it one night coming home from an investigation, like 5 a.m. It was like at the end of the bed, staring out the window. I'm like, I am way too tired for this shit. And then it went away.
Well, if you're not scared of it, if you're not feeding it fear, then it's got nothing to stick around with.
Yeah.
We had a case in Ivy Bridge with a Hat Man, and it was terrorizing this woman who wasn't very well, and it was really terrorizing her, and we had to obviously get someone in to help get rid of it because it was severing that connection for her. But yeah, I mean, these things can be quite malevolent if they actually take root and you have got that fear of them, because it was really putting her through the ringer and getting quite physical as well.
Wow.
See, I've seen shadow people, but I don't think I've seen the Hat Man. I don't ever remember acknowledging it. But do you know when I said I've been seeing things in my peripheral? That's kind of slowed down a bit. It's only like every now and again I see them. But I've started hearing speaking as well now when I see them. So it's leveling up. But
maybe you're getting a bit of clairaudience.
Yeah.
Don't know. Give me some good news and I'll be happy.
You're moving away from ghosts to UFOs, and now you're starting to hear and see ghosts. So there's the irony for that one.
Wow.
Is the Hat Man married to the old hag?
Ooh.
I'm wondering.
Ooh.
Is there any connections?
Usually.
Like sleep paralysis, the old hag syndrome.
Yeah.
I wonder if there's any connection, because I've heard of people, I think possibly reporting Hat Man during sleep paralysis as well.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah, lots of people. Lots of people report kind of shadowy forms and that sort of thing of various kinds. But the weird thing is that similarity. You get this case after case with the old hag, case after case of these tall, shadowy figures, which is really odd because you think it would be sort of different every time if it's just the person's imagination, and that's what you get. You get repeating patterns with this thing. Now, obviously, with like the sleep paralysis, a lot of people more skeptical of the supernatural say that it's all in the brain, and when people are seeing these shadowy forms, it's just your brain's way of interpreting why the body can't move, like there's something got to be holding it down. So then you come up with this thing in the room, and sometimes it leans over you or pushes down on you. But you see, the thing is that that doesn't work for any other cases where people have just seen them around their house or on the stairs or whatever, because they're not asleep at the time, or in the state of going off to sleep where they would be getting sleep paralysis. So how come the same things are seen in these other? It doesn't work. It might explain some of the cases, of course.
Well, how many people here have had sleep paralysis with a show of hands? Anyone else? No. I used to have it pretty bad when I was younger, and I came to the conclusion that I was dreaming. And the reason I came to that conclusion, because it feels, if you haven't experienced this, sleep paralysis is like something's on top of you and not allowing you to move. You cannot move your body. You cannot scream because that's what you want to do because you feel like you're like in danger, but you can't do any of that. And so then I met with someone who told me when that happens next, look around, open your eyes and look around and, try to remember what you see. And so I did that. I looked around as I was trying to get out and I noticed at the door, the wall where the door is in my bedroom was on the opposite wall. And I was like, what the hell? It really caught my attention. I'm like, I'm dreaming. And ever since that realization to me, I didn't have it anymore. It stopped. So to me, I think it's dream, but it's a very, very vivid dream. I can't say that for other people who experience this because a lot of people think it's some sort of spirit or a demonic presence. And that maybe it is. I don't know.
And I think also it goes back to what Abbie was saying, the feeding. So something feeding, and so the fear is like, the more you get scared, the more it feeds, and the fear is like pizza to the Hat Man. So no pizza for Hat Man.
That's what he wants.
So he wants the pineapple. He's after the pineapple.
What about the first one? I have had sleep paralysis, but there's nothing going on. So I might as well tell you. So I was finished work early, but I had to go back to it. I was done by 1 o'clock, so I went home. I thought I'll get a couple of hours sleep. So I just got on the sofa, put the fire on, middle of winter. This is before mobile phones and all that, so there's no way they knew where I was or anything, unless they come out looking for me. So I lay on the sofa, and I woke up, but it's like I couldn't move. I couldn't move my arms. I could look round, couldn't move my head. I could move my eyes. I'm like, oh, this is weird. It's like that in-between state of awake and asleep.
Yeah.
So I thought, right, I'll see if I can do it again. And I just kept doing it over and over to see if I could get any control over it. And I managed to do it and get, I'd move my arm and my leg and thought of something, and then I'd be all right. So, and I did it about 5 or 6 times in the space of about half an hour. But that was it. There was nothing paranormal about it. It was just my body in between the two states of completely awake and completely asleep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it makes total sense, doesn't it? That your body would shut down the muscles because otherwise you have our dreams, right? We'd be running around the house and putting yourself in danger. So we shut down. It's kind of like your body's shutting down before you fully dropped off, and then you're like, I can't move, So it makes total logical sense, and then you get. So what the theory is, the skeptical theory, is that you get all sorts of visual and auditory hallucinations, hypnagogic hallucinations. And, there's lots of cases on record where nothing to do with ghosts or to do with aliens or anything like that. People are reporting all sorts of things like hearing weird ticking sounds, buzzing, so they might feel like they're being pulled different directions. And that can be misinterpreted as, of course, alien abduction. So people can be like, oh, I was taken off the bed and this sort of thing. Now, I've done a hell of a lot of study into sleep paralysis because as a researcher into contact, I have to look at the mundane alternative explanations that could be misinterpreted as a contact experience. And there's some very, very big differences between sleep paralysis and contact experiences, which I'm not going to go into in depth now, but unless it comes up as my question or whatever. But yeah, it's but I could see how sleep paralysis can be misinterpreted as that. And again, if you're seeing weird things or weird forms, sometimes shadowy kind of shapes that look somewhat humanoid, it could be easily interpreted as a shadow being or ghost or whatever in the room. So yeah.
So I'm going to put one more question before we move on to the next subject.
Oh, I was just about to ask.
You don't need to answer now. What's the significance of the hat with the hat man? Because obviously there's something. I don't know. Well, I'll just leave that there. He's more distinguished
than a regular shadow guy.
Yeah, it's style. He's he's the Justin Timberlake of. He's got style. What I was going to ask.
Why don't you have like a parrot on his shoulder or something?
Could be the same reason that witches wear pointed hats. Why do witches wear pointed hats?
Direction.
I do know, but it's to channel the energy down from the ether. So the energy arrives at the point, and it channels it down into the head.
Yeah.
Maybe his is protecting his energy from like leaving through his head.
Or he could be using that to stop connection to the spirit world, even though he's in the spirit world.
He's got a tinfoil hat on underneath.
Yeah. But it's black.
What about the shadow people and UFO phenomena, though? Because there seems to be a connection there, especially with the dark hooded figure.
Yeah, so well, I mean, again, it links back to contact. So when people have visitation experiences of beings, I've dealt with cases where people have seen greys and other types, sometimes wearing hooded robes, and then sometimes, they might be seeing it in the middle of the night, right? The room's really, really dark, they can barely make out furnishings in the room, so they're seeing a silhouette, so they're seeing a being standing alongside their bed, but they can't see it. It just looks like a black shape, because of just the low light conditions in the room. So again, they misinterpret it as something else, as a sort of shadowy form, rather, and if they put the light on, they're being an alien, recognizable type of being there, just wearing clothing. Because I've dealt with cases as well where people have seen them, on ships in full lighting, and they've been wearing hooded robes.
We saw me and Martin in Wiltshire was a hooded figure, and it followed us around, and that was with a lot of UFO activity. So
they're inherently linked. Yeah.
There's
so many cases where people report that time.
All right.
That mid-sentence.
Sorry. I'm just keeping.
He's sorry with that big smile on his face, right?
Yeah.
We might not get to out today. We might have to save it for next time.
We might have to take the gong off you. It's abuse of power.
I'm so reluctant to press it. I don't want to press it. But
who gets to gong Andy?
Hey?
Who gets to gong Andy? Andy gets to gong all of us.
You can go on it. Go on to sounds, and it's the top one on the right. Right, who wants to pick the next number?
We have control, Nicole.
We have control.
I pick number 1.
Told me this. I'm going to be gonging him left and right.
Number 1?
That's right.
So that is Bigfoot Dwarf.
Ooh.
And your subject
is...
1 second. Everything was running slow tonight.
Yeah, so am I.
I am.
Cryptids and hidden humanoids.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Hidden humanoid sounds interesting.
What is a hidden humanoid?
It's a humanoid that's hidden, I believe. The
I go with David on that.
Occam's razor on that one.
Does Bigfoot qualify for
absolutely
hidden human?
Quick, gong him out.
So what's the deal? What's the deal now? You gotta hold my hand through this. So now I speak about something about that, or
yes,
yeah,
okay, recently, this was in July. We go yearly up to a well-known Bigfoot spot in Northern California. And I spent 2 weeks up there and looking for the iconic beast. But no sightings. But there was one particular night where it was late night. It was like 4 a.m. I was getting in my tent and everyone else was, well asleep. And I started noticing this weird light outside of my tent, and it started like glowing like a flashlight. I thought at first it was someone maybe out there looking for something, and it wasn't anybody out there. Well, something out there, but it wasn't anyone from our camp, and there was no one else around. It's a very remote place, and so this light just started getting bright and dimming, and luckily I had my phone with a little bit of a recording capability left, so I was taking video. I was hiding in my sheet, in my sleeping bag, and my blanket, trying not to let the light of my phone be too bright, and I was getting video of this stuff, and it was going on for over an hour. And along with the strange light, there was a really bad smell. So we're in a Bigfoot spot, so I'm thinking, Bigfoot or maybe some sort of UFO type thing, because it was really bright at times, and it was just really odd. And but I could also hear just what sounded like soft footsteps going around and stuff, but I couldn't confirm anything. And so all these things going through my mind, and no sighting. I was expecting to see like maybe the shadow of a human or some sort of silhouette when the light would shine, because it was right up against my tent. And but no, nothing like that happened. I didn't hear any voices or anything. No one else seen it. Everyone else was asleep, and I was pretty much the only one that experienced it. And but there's a lot of stories from this particular campground. There's stories of this Native American woman that has appeared as a ghostly apparition, and she was supposedly, I think, really bright and like a white light form. And and of course all the Bigfoot history that's been around there, and some of the history, there's been some reports of these strange orbs and lights like that in that area, and not too much though, and it was just the weirdest thing. So yeah, I think it could have been them. You just hear a lot of the stuff that's going around these days, some of the information with people's encounters and stuff, and a lot of it rings bells to what I've been experiencing, and this was one of those experiences. So no humanoid sighting, no Bigfoot actual sighting, but I think something was really there for sure. So
yeah. But have you heard of the hide behind?
Yes.
The one in Russia. Are you correct? It's over there somewhere.
Yes, and then there's one with there's some video from, I think it was Croatia too, and it was very Bigfoot like, but it was hiding behind trees. And I've heard of natives, I forget what tribe out here, also talk about, and I think they call it a hide behind or something very similar like that, but I'm not sure what they are.
It's like the video I seen. It's like like a juvenile bear, but if you stretch it out. So like the way a bear, when it stands up, it's like, it is quite human-like, but it's sort of like it's been stretched. This has been stretched a little bit more. I think it's black with like white markings on its face, a bit like opposite to a panda. And it was seen, and then the military closed like so many square miles of this area off. And then when it kept getting seen in different parts, 2-3 days later, that area get closed off as well, and it was like an ongoing thing.
Wow,
weird.
Yeah, interesting. The native stuff that I've heard, it seemed more like the shadow beings that we were just kind of talking about, and they hide behind trees and stuff like that. And then the Croatia, I think it was Croatia, one of those countries out that way, but it was very Bigfoot like, and this thing was like arms extended and it was hiding behind trees, and then it was out in the complete open, and it just kind of just bounces around really fast. But it's some amazing footage, and there's been some recent breakdowns of it. It's been around for a while, but I don't know if that could maybe be one of those things you're describing. There's no of course there's no good look at the face, but you could see the body, and it's definitely something odd. So
yeah, so I've got, so it says the hide behind is a creature from American folklore, a nocturnal unseen predator in the woods that stalks and devours people by hiding behind trees or even the observer themselves, using its unique concealment to remain invisible until it attacks, often to feast on intestines.
It has an aversion to alcohol and is often blamed for logger disappearances.
You're going to put people off when they go walks in
Wow. Don't invite him to your party then, you know.
No.
I'm just seeing if there's any images, but they're just they're like shadowy, furry type, tall, thin creatures.
I have seen the lion bear looking image of the hide behind.
What's very interesting about these things is it hide behind a tree. It has no business hiding behind because the tree is very thin. It's large, and somehow it will be completely behind the tree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Weird.
It's the cowardly lion.
Quite anorexic. They're quite anorexic looking.
Yeah.
Considering what they eat.
You'd think. I know.
And going back really quick to that tent incident, did I mention the smell? Did I?
Yes.
You said these really.
Good.
What did it smell like?
What was this
sewer smell?
Yeah.
A sewer, like city sewer smell. And there was we do have a porta potty at that campsite, but I've been there for years. We've never had problems with smells unless you're in the porta potty. But it was the
unless you're leaving the smell.
And it kept getting stronger and stronger, and the smell came back a couple of nights later too. But it was more of a human, bad human smell, as to where a city sewer smells. So
like BO,
like
you mean
like
stale?
yes,
super BO,
really bad, like really bad.
Like,
it was amazing.
Like they've never taken a shower in their life. That kind of super BO.
No.
I found the video of the hide behind. I popped it into the private chat.
Nice one.
It's
like
10 seconds.
Sorry. Again, you don't think it could be like a dead animal out in the forest, and the air currents kind of drifting in the smell from outside?
I think we would have smelled it ahead of time, and I can't hear you. I don't know if you could hear me, but
yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I think we would have smelled it. We were there. That was like the first weekend, so I think we would have detected. And the thing is, it came on strong at first. I noticed it. But then it kept getting stronger and stronger and strong, and I was to the point like, all right, bro. I was gonna be like, all right, bro. Like I smell you, you know, whatever it is. But it just kept getting stronger and stronger. It wasn't like I've smelled dead animals and dead things before, so it was very different than that.
The decay has a definite scent. Like you know when it's something dead.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it reminded me of city sewers. What came to mind, I was like, damn, and we're far away from any sewers. Let me tell you.
There's a reason Florida calls it the skunk ape.
Yeah,
I've heard. Yeah, I've heard they try to blame them for smelling bad, but I've also heard that the Florida skunk ape really doesn't they didn't name it because it stunk. I think so. It makes sense to me that they would name it skunk ape because it smells skunk like, but I don't know. I hear, you hear everything with that, but I don't know.
Who are out back, like, oh, I don't know. It must be that skunk ape.
Yeah, and nowadays, I keep on top of like reports and stuff like that are come across my way, and a lot more people describing getting the foul smell, and maybe it's not Bigfoot, but it comes along with a lot of Bigfoot reports. So I'm hoping it was Bigfoot coming to visit me and check up on me in my tent.
How were you feeling at the time? Did you sense anything? Because I say,
oh yeah, I felt it. I was ready. I was like, okay, we got to record this because no one's gonna believe me. And thank goodness I was able to get increments of video of it. So if anyone ever wants to check it out, let me know. And
I want to check it out.
So I was ready to hit the panic button on my truck in case I needed to, and then I was ready to scream at the top of my lungs if someone started pulling my tent away, and so I did feel some fear, but I was like, this is what we're here for. But at the same time, I didn't step outside the tent. I didn't go outside. Something told me not to go out. And I didn't do it, and maybe I should have done it, but maybe I wouldn't be here.
Yeah.
What are your chances? Do you think? What number from 1 to 10 do you think you could take on a Bigfoot if it showed up?
Oh, no way!
Shot, or what? Do you got, 1 to 10?
No way. couldn't stand a chance, man. It's crazy because it's a whole other ball game when you're out there and especially daytime. But then when the nighttime comes, it's like a whole other world, man. And there is that sense of fear and extra heightened awareness and all that. But I enjoy it. So yeah, no, I would love to experience that again.
Do you feel it's only going to be an amount of time, until somebody discovers a dead one? Or do you feel that they are? Is that coming through, right? Hello?
I can't hear anyone.
Uh-oh. See, all technical difficulty.
Oh, there we go.
PC just shut down. So now we're running the show.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah.
Who needs him? Who needs him?
I think he's back.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
No more gong.
Yeah, I can hear you.
You can hear me now, yeah?
Yeah. I can.
Yeah. Bigfoot Dwarf, you hear me, yeah?
Look
there
who it is.
Is it
Here he is. No, I don't think Bigfoot Dwarf can hear you.
He can hear us, but we can hear him.
Yeah, and it's okay. I could read lips pretty good.
I'm back.
You're back. Oh, we didn't know you got it.
Who are you?
I'm going to type it.
He's just gone to get his second pizza.
I don't think Andy can hear us.
Andy,
can you hear us?
The audio's starting to go off.
Everything just shut down.
Oh.
Yeah, I can. Yeah. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Massive lag.
Yeah.
Is anybody getting massive lag on Andy's?
Oh, yeah. Andy's lagging
massive
bad.
lag on it.
On this edition of Technical Support with Alien
Right. Is that any better?
Yeah, you're back now.
Nicole's got this.
Not another one. Everything just shut.
Your mouth stopped moving with your
Everything
words.
just shut down. Just.
It's back now. We're all back. We're all back in the room. Yeah.
That's what it is.
Yeah, Andy's mouth's not moving with his words.
Bigfoot Dwarf.
Well,
Can Bigfoot Dwarf
Is
hear
that
us now?
normal?
that's normal.
By chance, did you hit the gong yet?
Andy, put up the topic. Number 2. 2.
The gong.
Dose.
Come on,
Number
Norbert
2.
Collier.
So that is Michael.
Oh.
Mike.
Yes.
There we go.
I want to be like Mike.
No, you don't.
1 second.
Oh, hell no.
I like how you went to like Mike and
ready?
I went to Magic Mike.
Magic Mike. Yeah, that makes sense.
Ooh.
I'm not going
Not
Magic
the same
Good
kind
one.
of thing, unfortunately.
Haunted locations.
Residual energy.
Haunted
Nice.
locations of residual energy.
Andy, you've stitched me up on this one, haven't you? I know.
Ah. So,
Oh no, you've got a good one.
yeah, I have actually. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
You've all got a good one. That for me.
So I think I'm not sure whether I told this story on the last time we were on. I went on a paranormal investigation, and this is going back sometime mid-2000s, and it was at a old sort of pub or an inn for American terms, and it was literally out in the middle of nowhere. You know, it just had a main road that ran past the front of it. Cars would go past every now and again. And the pub is actually on the Tolkien Trail. So, you know, the guy who did The Hobbit, J.R. Tolkien.
Yes.
So the pub is actually on what's classed as the Tolkien Trail up in, what's it called? Ribble Valley. The Ribble Valley in near Lancashire in the UK. Andy will know where it is. And so we were out at this ghost.
So that's Blackburn.
Pub. Kind of way, yeah. So we were out at this pub doing an investigation, and there was a story of a highwayman that would haunt the pub. So the landlady told us this story of how there is a true sort of historical link for a guy called Ned King. He was kind of like the Dick Turpin of, you know, that area kind of thing. And he would turn up with his horse, and he would come into the pub and at night and haunt, sort of, you know, activity with the landlady. Not that kind of activity, but knocking on pans in the
never
kitchen
know.
and stuff like that.
You never know.
I bet
So
there was.
go bump in the night.
He slimed me. Anyway, so
he went
Ghostbusters. It was a Ghostbusters term. He's from Ghostbusters. Get your mind out of the gutter. So
I'm with you, Nicole.
we were at this investigation, and it's sort of like 1-2 o'clock in the morning, and we heard this loud banging on the door of the pub, and not the usual little taps that you get, when you're going to ghost. This was sort of like somebody thumping away at the door. So I went off to go and open the door and see who it was, and opened the door. There was nobody there. And I didn't kind of expect anybody to be there, because there's no houses within sort of 3-4 miles of this pub. It's literally so remote that you'd need to get a car and drive to the pub. It's not one that you can walk to. And so I opened the door. There's nobody there. So I closed the door. Anyway, sort of about half an hour, 45 minutes later, we had a break. A few of the people that were there wanted to go outside for a cigarette and a smoke. So me and my wife decided to go outside, get some fresh air. There's a few others outside chatting away, like you do, cigarette smoking and stuff like that. And I'm stood there near this, and it's near the road, the main entrance, and I hear this tap, and it's tap. I thought, what the hell's that? And I turned round, and there is an old guy with a cane. Walking stick, walking on the opposite side of the road, walking down this sort of a bit of a slope, this road, and going down, and then the road went upwards and disappeared off around a bend. And he was walking along, and I can still see him now. And he was wearing like a sort of a maroon coloured cardigan, a bit like the same colour as my top, grey pants, shoes on. And then I turned around and saw some of the people who were smoking also saw the guy. So they started shouting, abuse and whatever kind of thing to try and get this guy's attention for whatever reason. And he just carried on walking, minding his own business kind of thing. And as he's sort of walking down this road, I'm thinking to myself, where the hell have you come from at 2 o'clock in the morning? Where the hell are you going? And how have you got here? Because there's no bus stops nearby. There's just nothing. It's literally out in the middle of nowhere. And I thought, I'll just take some pictures while I'm outside, hoping to see this highwayman Ned King. And I took a picture of this guy. And it's one of the old cameras, with the screens on the back. So I put the screen back on after taking some pictures, and I took a picture of this road. There's a 40-mile-an-hour road sign in the picture, and it's glowing because the camera's flash reflected off it. But there's no man there. And I put the camera down, and I look up, and he's there walking still, because he's very old. He's very obviously slow walking. So click, click, click again. Put the screen on. The road's there, the trees are there, the 40-mile-an-hour sign's there. There's no guy there. And I'm showing my wife, and I was like, look, I've just taken a picture of this guy. You can see there, we're both looking at him. He's walking down the road, but he's not on the picture. Everything else is in the scene. The road sign, the road, the screens, everything. But there's no guy there.
See, this throws me out because you did.
So they're all. So they all then start getting their cameras out, taking pictures of this guy, and they're all saying he's not on the pictures, but we can see him there walking down the road. And actually,
it's normally the other way around.
For all intents and purposes, a physical human being, elderly man, walking down the road, and everybody's taking pictures, and there's nothing on the cameras. But
so it's usually the other way around.
Clicking along. Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
You take the photo. Or
yes.
Was he a vampire?
I was going to say, vampires, do they show up in images?
No, they don't show up in mirrors. They don't show up in pictures.
But wouldn't you have thought he would have turned around when people are shouting at him? Even just not to say anything, just to acknowledge that there are people there.
Mind you, would you if you had a group of people shouting at you, or would you just be like, carry on walking?
I would. I'd be like,
right here, buddy. You would glance to the side at least. You'd at least glance to the side.
Yeah.
Even if you didn't want to catch people's attention.
Mike, why didn't you run after him?
Yeah,
have you seen the size of me? I don't run.
Man, you should have taken him.
Lightly jog, Mike. Don't get him.
No, it was on a hill.
Quickly.
Power walk.
So that was the haunted location.
Don't get him.
No, it was on a hill.
Quickly.
Power walk.
So that's. I mean, over the years, I've investigated all sorts of places across the UK. Been to a place called Drakeford Tunnels. What do I think it was? I don't know, if I'm honest. If I'm honest, I don't know. As far as I know, it's a man out for a walk. Where he's come from, where he's walking to. I mean, he might have mental health issues, so he's probably come out of some old people's home kind of thing, and he's walked off into the night kind of thing. But it was just freaking me out because I'm like looking at him there, and I can see him like, you can see yourselves on here, but take a picture and there's nobody on the picture. Everything else is on the picture.
So there's
like a false amount of a speed sign, but there's nothing there.
So he's appearing to you all, and you're all picking him up psychically, all of you. Yeah.
It sounds like could be residual haunting.
Oh, it could be a residual. Hence why
I have investigated the pub previously, and we've never seen the guy before that time. It's only the one time we've seen him. We've been there a couple of times. I've even driven past where the pub is. I've even driven past the pub at night, and I've never seen anybody.
Did you look at if there was any significance to that date or time?
Not for the guy, no. So I looked up the highwayman.
Have you
the story of the highwayman, because that's sort of tied in with the pub, but not for for a complete stranger kind of thing walking down a main road in the early hours of the morning.
Did you speak to any of the locals to see if they recognise him? If you described him to them?
So I'd spoken to the landlady, and she's never heard of anybody sort of being seen walking past the pub, at that kind of time of night. An elderly person. So she's never seen anything. She's been in the pub for about 7 or 8 years. And she's not even heard any stories, local stories of people walking.
So could this be like my helicopter, like Dave was saying, a screen memory?
It could well be, but then it was shared with quite a lot of people.
Did you have anybody in your group that night that you didn't have the other time? So maybe it was tied to like a person rather than the place?
So I've never seen most of the people. I'd never seen. It's a paranormal investigation. You turn up. It's a random amount of people who turn up, kind of thing. They get the tickets and they do the investigation.
It's never been somebody who came with one of the participants.
Could be. I don't know what the door knocking was prior to him turning up, because I thought it would have been him, kind of thing. Trying to.
Yeah.
What if it was a time slip? And that knocking was like the opening of a portal.
Yeah, that's interesting, because that wouldn't show up on camera. Might not. Well, I don't know. Would it? Would the time slip show up on camera? Probably not. I'd say I've always viewed time slips as something similar to that. Again, a psychic perception, like you're picking it up, but it's not actually there. Like if you take a photo, you just see the normal world.
Yeah, because I've heard
camera, like people developing like really weird pictures, like. Yeah. Hey, we went here and this is what it looked like. I have pictures.
Yeah.
But I just think that knocking noise, did it sound electrical or was it just wood?
So you know when a cane hits the ground when somebody's walking.
Yeah. Oh, so like that.
So it's like a tap, and then there's a gap. There's a space of time, and then there's a tap again, and then there's a space of time, and there's a tap again.
From House from Haunted Hill with the floaty guy with the cane.
Yes.
Yeah. Just to freak everybody out more,
Fantastic series.
Yeah. So that's probably one of my most realistic paranormal experiences I've ever had.
Any smell? Any other noises?
No, I mean it was outside. It was fresh air. You know, it was a sort of autumn night kind of thing. There was just fields around and the pub. There was no cars, no traffic went past.
Did air current or windy? Did air current?
No,
or
it was.
wind
It was
increase?
quite. It was just like like tonight is quite a cold, still night, if you like. So
it would be real funny if it was
go silent.
With you.
Sorry.
It'd be real funny if it was just somebody fucking with you. Like, hey, we know there's an investigation. I'm gonna walk real creepy down this pathway.
Then to take pictures of them and then to be on the camera, you know.
Yeah, he's got the latest military active camouflage. You know, we can't see you in an image.
That's true.
Elderly knock and run prankster.
Right?
It's a ghost
not very
prankster,
good
right?
at
It's just like,
Not very good. No.
When I'm investigating and I see people like looking up at the building, I'll like go up into one of the attic windows and be like,
Shine
we
a light
get it
under
the
your
other way
under
around.
your
We
neck.
get people looking in at the windows and like you walk into the room and it's like,
and licking them. Lick that window.
We've had a few, to be fair.
Yeah. So yeah, that was one of my most sort of active sort of things I've ever had. Like I said, I've done all sorts of events all over the country. I've had all sorts of experiences, both physical and spiritual. I'm quite clairvoyant. I'm quite sensitive to spirits, so I've seen things and I've heard things and experienced things, both physically and psychically, kind of thing. So,
did you pick up anything up from this random dude that was walking, or did you feel anything when he went past? Apart from annoyance that he didn't show up in the photo.
Yeah. It was more of a physical experience rather than me sort of trying to pick up on, any activity. I was more focused on this highwayman character, the ghost of this highwayman coming.
So when you said no cars went past, were the cars going past before and after you seen them?
Yeah, during the day. So earlier on in the evening when people were turning up at the event. An occasional car would go past. It's one of those roads where it's a country lane, Andy. You know what people drive like down country lane. Yeah. You're not stopping, you're not slowing down, you're not waiting for somebody or anything like that. And that sort of crossed my mind. I thought to myself, if you're walking around like this and somebody comes hurtling down these country roads like you get hit,
you ain't going to stand a chance.
Yeah, you're not really going to stand much of a chance. And how long is it going to be before anybody knows?
I was just thinking if you got the zone of silence as it was happening, and then everything came back afterwards.
No, it was quite all the way through. Apart from the people chatting and laughing and kind of thing, there was nothing else that was sort of untoward about the event. It was just literally a cold night like tonight. Just people stood outside having a cigarette, and a chat and getting a bit of fresh air before sort of getting back into the event and carrying on doing an investigation.
Yeah.
We'd actually just literally gone outside for fresh air, not to have any sort of paranormal experience. This just kind of turned up out of the blue sort of thing.
Yeah. What's the best you're not expecting it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always the way.
Yeah.
Have you got these photos that you're taking, Mike? Have you put them online and that sort of the photos that you took? Are they online?
No, I didn't. No, I'd lost the pictures that I'd got. It was an old camera kind of thing, so it's going back.
Also, there was nothing in them.
Yeah, I didn't catch anything, so.
Yeah. Andy's doing it.
We're all prepped for that gong, boys.
He's attempting to do it.
The gong has gone wrong.
What the hell?
Gone wrong.
All right, ready? Hey. I'll use the real one. There we go.
I got it.
Nicole,
wrong.
You can be in charge of the gong. You can be in charge of the gong from now on.
It's pretty powerful.
This is going to go horribly wrong.
Time to go.
Right, so we've got 3, 5, 6, and 8.
Can I choose 6?
You can indeed. And that is Nicole.
Oh.
Yours
What am I?
is... 1 second.
I'm scared.
Come on.
Cool. I could hear Nicole.
Ready?
He's killing me with anticipation over here.
Please. I've got a copy and paste.
Okay.
There you go.
All right.
Mediumship, intuition, and spirit communication.
All right. I'm going to take the last one on this, the spirit communication, because mediumship.
You're gone.
Sorry, Andy, we can't hear you, mate. We can't hear you.
Sorry, go on.
Is that not a spiritual communication of ringing in the ear?
Yeah,
Right?
it is.
Hearing
Actually.
bells. So spirit communication. You guys know that I go out and do events and paranormal events. So we use a lot of different methods of spirit communication. We use Phasma box, we use spirit box, we use dowsing rods and all kinds of things. What I find really interesting though is how the type of communication you'll get really varies from location to location. Like when we'll go into a place that hasn't been investigated that much, or it's like a brand new location, sometimes it takes them a minute to like catch on to all the gadgets and gizmos that we bring with us. But once they get it, it's like, all right, now they all know and they all kind of chat among themselves, so to speak, and then they can all use the spirit box. But we get a lot of good communication with the dowsing rods. As I know they're a little controversial because it's human input, supposedly, but I like to do crazy experiments with them where I'll like have everybody stand in a circle and have somebody stand in the middle and close their eyes, spin around so you don't know where anybody is, and be like, okay, can you point to this person, or can you point to that person? One of my favorite examples of that was when we were investigating this place with the Morris County Parks Commission, and we came across a spirit who was really, really into blondes.
Yeah, just like me.
Yeah, he was. He's a little fresh, and so we had everybody do that, stand around in the circle. We had all the women come in. I stood in the middle, spun around. I'm like, okay, can you point to who you think is pretty? And it goes right to the blonde. Spin around again, have everybody shuffle. All right, can you point again? To the blonde. So it's really interesting, I think, when we get that kind of stuff. I am
experiments because it takes it takes control out of it, doesn't it? If someone's blindfolded, they're closing their eyes, they haven't got that auto suggestion, so it does take that element out of it.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of what we get is biased, because when you're asking, okay, tell me your name, and then you're listening for a name, so you're kind of trying to make something fit that goes with what you already know. That's why I like the Estes method a lot, where you put somebody in a separate room with the spirit box, and then somebody is sitting separately from them asking the questions, and they can't hear the questions being asked to kind of try to find that answer. So we have a lot of fun with that too. Mediumship, I don't know. I believe in it.
That's cool.
I know a lot of mediums. I work with a lot of mediums, but I try to remain skeptical because a lot of it you can't validate. And sometimes I just want to throw stuff out there. I was saying the other day, my team members, I work with 3 psychic mediums, and I'm the only one who's not. So they'll put stuff in our group chat like, oh, hey, I had a dream about this person. Can anybody like tune in to see what they're picking up? And they'll all be like going back and forth. And I just want to throw like random shit out there sometimes. Like,
do it. Just make some up.
Because how are you going to know? That's my thing. Like, how are you going to know?
I'd laugh if you were right on the money as well.
Yeah. But you might
like I was telling Lisa this morning, they were talking about like a pilot. Stephanie had a dream about a pilot. Susan was chiming in, okay, this, I think this. And I just want to be like, actually, I think he died from like gonorrhea in the 50s. Just like some outlandish things, because you'll never know. Unless it's
I'm supposed to know. I'm supposed to know. As mediums, aren't they supposed to know? Wouldn't they be like, no, that's not true?
Who is Al Capone?
Yeah. But they all know that you're not a medium, so you just get deleted from the chat. Like, get rid of that.
Pretty much.
saying that, the most skeptical person on my team, and he's a scientist as well, he's an aerospace engineer, and he's the most skeptical, grounded person, is the closet medium. It really is. We did a Gansfield. We had him literally in a different part of the building, sensory depth, and I was holding up these pictures, and, you know, he had a camcorder in front of him so we could record his answers, and he got every single one right. And he's the biggest skeptic going. So we call him a closet medium now, just to be off.
The girls actually tell me, they're like, no, see, you feel stuff, you sense stuff. I'm like, nope, I like my gadgets, I like my data, and I like the woo-woo.
Yeah.
You've got to have a bit of woo. You've got to have a good balance. It's a balance between science and woo, isn't it, really? Yeah.
I think it's what everybody's striving for, though, is the evidence, the hard evidence, you know. Yeah. I'm always looking for that in the UFO field, you know. And I think it's easier to gather hard evidence when you're looking into sort of ghostly phenomena, because often it's location-based. Like you say, you're going to a place because it's known as a haunted location, so you get activity again and again there. Whereas in the UFO field, the vast majority of the time, it's like an incident. It happened. It's very unlikely to happen again at that exact place. It might happen in a sort of locale. Obviously, some areas are known as being kind of hotspots, right? But then half the time, you have to argue that half of that is down to the public perception of an area, and jumping on the bandwagon and that sort of thing. You have to take that all into account. So even though my focus is UFOs, I sometimes kind of wish, you know, it was more the other way, because I love the gathering of evidence and the fact that you can go to a place that's known to be haunted and you're more likely to pick up things at that location, you know, and you're choosing it specifically because of that. What's the longest communication you've ever had, like, you know, ongoing? Because that's obviously, a lot of people would say, okay, once or twice, it's still coincidental, right? Is there any incidents that you remember where it quite clearly wasn't incidental, you know, like it was again and again and again, like on the money, and you were getting like some sort of backwards to and from communication going?
So we were at Cardwa Farms, and this was a residential facility for the mentally disabled. It was a monastery, and we're standing in this room where the wheelchair, this wooden wheelchair, supposedly moves around the building. So it was in this one room on the second floor. We're doing some EVP sessions. We have the REM pod going, and I clearly hear, and other people clearly hear, like a girl almost singing, humming, like, so that kind of thing. And then we go out in the hallway, and it continues. We keep hearing this for a pretty good while. We were up there for, I want to say, at least 45 minutes, doing a couple things. We were trying to get some hits on the equipment, but we kept hearing this like humming, this singing. And then we were in the main room, which would have been like where they did like their recreation, or, you know, like a community room, and the lights started flickering on and off. It wasn't, you know, faulty wiring, because we tried to see if we could recreate it. You know, we left the lights on, see if they would do it again, turn the lights off, see if they would come on, but nope, they were flickering. But everybody heard this, and that was kind of cool, because it was quite a while that this was going on, that we were hearing this, and we did capture some of it on an EVP.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of layers of activity there.
Yeah.
I mean, I love EVP. I mean, I think that, to me, that is the best form of communication. Even though it's not instantaneous, you have to go back and you have to review. But what you find out afterwards, and then when you're looking into the actual history of the building, and then you find out that the names that have come up are the names of these characters that have been in history and are supposedly meant to haunt the place. I mean, that's where I love it, is when you being able to tie it all together afterwards.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that like aha moment where you're like, now it makes sense, because you're getting the same thing consistently throughout your whole investigation, and you can't figure out why the spirits keep referring to a fire. There's no like history that's publicly accessible that there was a fire, but then you talk to some historian and they're like, well, you know, actually the building that was there burnt down and they rebuilt it.
But then you've got to remember as well, a lot of stuff wasn't documented.
Yeah.
So depending on how long ago it was, say it was like 500-600 years ago, they wouldn't have documented that as opposed to it happening 250 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Well,
not
we
just
find
in
that a
Japan.
lot with, because you go into these fancy old like mansions, and you can see their whole history. Everything they did was documented, written about. But the people who were like poorer or more middle class, there's nothing about them because they weren't notable.
Same with the staff, same with some of the upper class females as well. I mean, up to a certain point, their births weren't recorded. Their marriage was, because the dowry was, money changed hands, but their actual birth was never recorded. So,
unlike today, where people are going to be able to find your Facebook, however many years from now, and be like, "Look, this is what they ate for breakfast on Saturday."
Oh, we're going to be AI tagged by the end of 2027.
Yeah.
Instagram is where you post your food, not Facebook.
Whatever you're posting your breakfast.
Speaking from experience, Andy.
No idea what you're talking about.
Officer.
Only old people use Facebook now.
I ain't plugging your food pics, Andy. I'm sorry. Paranormal Pizza, yes. But I ain't plugging your food pics.
Well,
You send me a picture of a cappuccino and a latte, it ain't going on Insta.
I've done that before now. Just because of the size of the Costa cup, it was two-handle. It was massive.
I don't do Insta coffee.
I don't do coffee at all.
No, you didn't say it right. How do you say coffee?
Coffee.
Coffee.
Thank you. Thank you. There we go. Anyway.
What you on?
Saved by the gong.
Every time I look down at that corner, by the way, it looks like Mike is eating that pizza.
Yeah, I think the same thing.
Share, mate, share. That looks quite nice.
Pick that alien's nose.
Yeah, we've got roughly 25 minutes left, so 3 or 5. Who wants? Dave,
5.
Hodrian. Who?
3.
Oh,
well, you said 5. I don't know. Okay, 3. Yeah, 5. Yeah, let's go with 5.
5? Right, the 5.
Wait. Andy. Go with whichever one is not the wild card.
That's what I'm doing. I've cut the wild card out for now.
Okay.
I'm just confused now.
So, this is for Miss Dent.
He gets me while I'm confused. Thanks for that.
It's all right. And your
Just about got over my New Year's hangover. Hit me with it.
Copy and paste faster.
Contact cases of non-human intelligence.
Something I know absolutely zero about. So thank you for that one.
Why do you not know nothing about
Right back,
this?
guys.
You should be on it.
For own experiences, but I'm the paranormal girl. So yeah, UFOs is
You don't have
something I've
to.
experienced.
Non-human intelligence just walk around Manchester on a Saturday afternoon.
Well, yeah,
No, I'm not even joking. I'm going to say it. Half my family. But anyway.
Recorded forever.
Not saying which half.
Does the Haunted Devon Christmas party count as a non-human contact case?
It depends if you ever want to speak to these people again.
Yeah.
Intelligence, I think, can cover AI too.
Well, yes, that is
No,
true.
That is non-human.
Yeah.
And intelligent.
Technically,
Nicole's right.
Because it's human input.
Yeah.
I'm
Someone's
throwing
got to
Abbie
put all
Dent
the
over
data
here.
into it.
Is it though? Is it human input?
Not for long.
No,
I don't know. Some of the answers she gives back to me, she could be quite cheeky. So I don't think that is human. I think she's getting a bit of sass now. She's starting to.
hey, she's being really good with me. Everything first time, except the other day, and I give up. I just turned it off.
Oh, don't. Happy New
One
Year
thing.
from Alien 8. He ate an alien, so I had to kind of change that.
Yeah.
too.
I have to say Alien 8 UK.
Contact cases with non-human intelligence.
Just
well,
one moment. Bigfoot, do you...
I could talk about Wiltshire because that was contact with non-human intelligence. That was a shadow being that kind of made a lot of UFO activity happen, and I kind of ended it with a fried brain afterwards. So, yeah. We'll start with 2012. I was first time I gone crop circling with my co-host at the time, Martin Hicks, since retired. He is a member of the Plymouth UFO Research Group, and I'd never seen a crop circle. I'd never been in a crop circle or anything like that. So we went to Wiltshire, and it was the 4th of February 2012, and the Olympics were going on. It was a full moon. There was a lot of stuff going on Wiltshire. There was a lot of stuff going on around Avesbury, a lot of occult ritual, shall we say, going on. We were seeing people in robes around the Devil's Stone in Avesbury Stone Circle. There was these corn dollies with red string wrapped and just placed in all these areas, such as Silbury Hill and all the rest of it. And it was the Saturday night, and we'd been for something to eat. We'd gone into this crop circle, which was just outside Avesbury Stone Circle, and I think it was called the Timepiece. It looked like a clock. And Martin, before the day of drones or anything like that, Martin is up on a step ladder with a pole, with his camera on the end, trying to take a photo of the crop circle. And, back in the day, these are the things you did. And I had gone to meditate in one of the outer circles. I mean, this thing was huge. It was massive. And I'm meditating, and I kind of open myself up. Be careful what you wish for. Saying, like, if there's anything I need to experience, anything I need to learn, then I'm open to it. Come and show me what you want me to see. And I put a bit of I wanted to give something back, so I'd not long done my Reiki 1, so I actually did a bit of Reiki on the ground, and I just said I just want to give back to the earth. I just want to give back, put nutrients in the soil and all the rest of it. And with that, I hear this walking behind me in the crop circle, like on the straw. And I thought it was Martin. So I kind of like snap out of it, turn around, expecting to see Martin, walking up behind me. I stand up, and he's still up on his ladder, with his pole, taking photos. So I'm like, okay, it's not Martin. I walk back, and Martin says he sees a ball of light. I'm walking this way, and he sees a ball of light going that way. I don't see it. And we're lying in the crop circle, literally, looking up at the stars, pontificating, universe, all the rest of it. And the atmosphere just changes. And I mean, it just changes. I wouldn't say it was bad. You just felt like you weren't welcome, if that makes sense. It just felt a bit, we shouldn't be here now. We're encroaching on somebody else's energy. And we both look up, and we see this 7-foot hooded figure standing on the outer boundary of this crop circle. And I look at Martin, and I'm like, you're seeing this, aren't you? And he looked at me, and he was like, yeah, time to go. So we pack up the blanket. He tips a nod to whatever this thing is, and we exit the crop circle. The opposite side, funnily enough, not towards this thing. Opposite direction.
Was you not intrigued to find out what it was?
I was and I wasn't, but the feeling was more time to leave.
Yeah, that was a warning.
It wasn't as if it was like, go away, I'm threatening you. It was more like, it's time for you to move on from this area, sort of thing. So,
sorry, go on.
You've looked into the other cases, haven't you, of this? Like, that's not far from a unique incident. Like, there's quite a few cases online of people, a lot of the crop circle fakers. So the groups who do crop circle faking,
they get chased out, don't they?
Yeah, numerous groups have claimed. Now, I mean, they've even given up, faking crop circle halfway through it because of that, because they said that there were these dark figures standing in the fields. That's really fascinating.
Yeah,
and some of them believe, ironically, that they are being in some way controlled to make the circles. Yeah, so it's kind of like fake, but not fake, like as an alien intelligence controlling them to make these fake designs. Now, obviously, you could look into that multiple layers, and you could say that they're just saying that because they want to keep the mystery going.
As well, though, the military are told to stay away from them. That do manoeuvres themselves with planes. They're known as
Really
the
interesting.
Guardians. Yeah.
Yeah.
But are they being compelled to make the crop circles, or when they make the crop circles, are they like summoning something?
They're normally getting chased away by them. Normally, the crop circle hoaxers, they feel very unwell, and they are being chased away by these hooded figures. But ours wasn't more being chased away. It was almost like, move on. There's something else coming. So we moved on, and all these police cars went past. We went to the Red Lion. Martin filled up the flask. I asked, are hooded figures? Because I'm ghost girl. So, mine was like, is any monks around or hooded figures or anything like that reported? Because that's what I could equate it to at the time. I'd never had an experience like I did in Wiltshire before that. So there was nothing kind of like to equate it to. And we follow these police cars because they're all like flying, and we're like, what's going on, as you do. So we're like, has someone been caught crop circle hoaxing? Is it a bust? Is it, So we follow them, we lose them, and we end up going up this hill to this place called Hackben Hill by the White Horse. And there's a coppice of woods, and then further down there's an ancient hill fort called Barbary Castle, and that's meant to be quite, have an energy of its own. And me and Martin are there in this car park, and we're talking about the night's events, and we're seeing these lights in this coppice of trees like fly in and out, like these balls of light, like flying in and out of this small coppice of trees, some white, some orange. And then we're watching these bright white beams of light literally just come up from the center of these woods and just like literally light up the whole sky. Like someone's like got a disco on the go, or there's a laser show, or, at the concerts where you get the really big, and, they really light up the sky. But there was nothing like that around there. It's just a coppice of woods on this country lane that at the time you couldn't get the cars down. You can now since it's been widened. But it was just a country little path that led to Barbary Castle, and there was 3 coppice of woods. While we're watching this light show go on, there's this blue van that turns up, and this blue transit van turns up, parks in the corner of the car park, and he's just watching me and Martin, and he's just sitting there smoking cigarettes. He's like the guy off the X-Files, the cigarette smoking man. So he's just sitting there puffing away, just eyeballing me and Martin. We're watching Blackpool illuminations go off in the sky. He's watching us. He's paying no attention to this whatsoever. And he's just watching us. So with that, I kind of get a bit ballsy. And I'm like, well, I'm gonna walk down, and see what's going on. And Martin's like, no, Abbie, stay. No, I'm like, no. I'm gonna walk down this path and see what's going on in these woods. I get about halfway down this path, and this bright white ball of light just appears in the middle and starts coming down the path at speed, about my height. And I kind of like stood there, and I kind of turn around and like run back to Martin. We both get in the car. Martin like turns the car around, and with that out the rear view mirror, again, it just lights up again. The whole sky lights up, and I've managed to capture some of this on camcorder. It doesn't do it justice because it was one of the old Sony night shots. So it couldn't really do it much justice, but you see the bright white lights just like beaming up in the sky. With this, we get out, we're having a look around, we're like, okay, enough's enough, let's move on now. As we're pulling out of the car park, we get chased by a landy that comes out of nowhere, and it chases us off Hackben Hill, chases us all the way down, really like up against our back, flashing us, all the rest of it. I mean, you're talking about what, 1:30 in the morning? There should be no one out there, and if there is anyone out there, shouldn't be in a rush like that. So
no,
we peg it to the bottom of the hill.
I was just going to say, what do you think would have happened if you'd have stopped?
I might not be here, mate. It could have been a Men in Black moment, and we might have seen a bit too much. Yeah. There was something going on. I mean, that guy who was watching us was, I think, definitely was military intelligence. He was, the way he was eyeballing us and not even looking at what was going on. It was like, this is normal. I want to know what you're doing. Yeah. Like, okay. We get to, we lose this guy because Martin indicates left, swerves right, and then goes back to Avesbury, and we park up outside the car park. Not the car park, the bus stop in Silbury Hill. And there's a lot of activity going on at this point. There's helicopters in the sky. There's police all around. So we're just like, yeah, let's get to a higher ground. So we go up a place called West Olverton Hill, which I don't like at the best of times. And we're at the top of this hill, and we're looking down over what we now know is the Adam and Eve standing stone. At the time, we couldn't see what it was. Again, another bright white beam of light just shoots up into the sky. There's helicopters, there's all this stuff going on, and I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. This is just too much. This is just way outside my comfort zone. Just stop now, just enough. With that, we hear these footsteps coming up the hill, and this is the invisible walker is apparently a known phenomena. And there was this voice almost like that said, okay. I was a nervous wreck by this point. I didn't know if up was down, left was right. I'm just well out of my comfort zone. And we get into the car. At the time, I was frantically rolling a cigarette because I was shaking. I was just like, what the hell's going on? You know, ghosts, yes, this, what the hell? just what the hell? And this thing just flies at the windscreen, and Martin just slams on the brakes. And he said it was this hooded thing, but it had almost like what he could describe as the only way he could describe it was things on his face. And the only way he could equate it was like the oak leaves on Green Man sort of thing. It was that kind of things on his face. And that was the end of the experience. That was the end of the night. So, yeah. We did pictures, UFOs.
Wow.
Is that contact? I don't know.
Well, yeah, that's CE5. Or is it CE4, Dave?
Well, CE5 is like where you're openly bringing in the contact yourself, so you're initiating it, which you weren't really doing, where you were just observing, you were just having activity going on.
But I meditated and asked for an experience. I asked to show what I needed to be to be shown. So
yeah. I suppose you could interpret it as a CE5.
A CE3 is literally physical contact.
C3 is having an observation of the beings at a distance. Is seeing the occupants, Four is being taken aboard or whatever.
No missing flight, nothing like that. No.
But if you had this thing right in front of your screen, your windshield, then that's like direct contact.
I luckily didn't see that. I had luckily I was a smoker at the time, and I had my head buried into rolling a cigarette, and I'm glad I didn't see it, to be quite honest with you. I mean, Martin is a level-headed guy himself. I mean, you've spoken to Martin yourself.
Yeah.
And the way he slammed on the anchors, I went forward and I literally put my hand on the dashboard to like brace myself, because he literally just slammed on the anchors. So, yeah. And then it came back the year after, and we had another wild experience. So this hooded figure came back and put us through the ringer in the Twilight Zone again the year after.
Exactly a year.
Exactly a year.
Again,
you know what we need to do this year.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's only happened the 2 years, 2012, 2013, but Jesus, yeah. I'd love to do it again.
I'm coming over.
We're doing Wilshire this year. But I mean, does that count as contact, or is that Guardian?
For me, yeah.
I mean, it depends on whether you view that as an alien being and related to the lights that you were seeing going into and out the trees, or something completely separate. So, I mean, or interlinked with it. So again, we've gone over numerous things this evening where you've got multiple activity going on at the same time, and you get this again and again. I mean, there's obviously cases on record where people have seen sort of glowing lights or UFOs, whatever you want to call them, and then there's been Bigfoot sightings, seen around the same time. Does that mean that the Bigfoot itself is an alien species? Maybe. There's so many interpretations to this.
This hooded figure followed me around for a few years, and every time I'd see him, there'd be a UFO, something UFO-y.
Yeah,
there you go.
Fascinating.
What I found fascinating was the detail. You mentioned it reminded you of a Green Man with oak leaves. That's far out. I like that.
That's the end, and that's what we call him. We don't call him a hooded figure. Me and Martin refer to him as Green Man because of it. Yeah.
Really interesting.
Anyway, Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
I know we only got like 15 minutes left.
Hey, I managed to talk to him for about 15 minutes, so you're all right.
Yeah.
You did good.
So, the next is number 3, and that is Mr. Dave Hodrian, and your topic is well, nothing at the minute.
Okay, that's easy.
There you go.
Just sit in silence.
UFO sightings and aerial anomalies.
That's easy, isn't
I
it?
told you.
Yeah. I know a little bit about that. I know it is really, isn't it? Oh wow! Where did we start with this? Oh my god! Okay, so when people talk about UFOs, yeah, like people see UFOs all the time, right? When you see an aircraft in the distance and you can't identify it as an aircraft, is that not a UFO? Yeah, you're seeing a dot on the horizon. Yeah. It's a glowing light. It's going on a straight path. Yeah. Does that mean if it's moving on a straight path as a light, does that mean it's definitely a plane? No, it doesn't. No, but we interpret it as a plane because we're like, oh, it's moving about the speed of a plane, and it's it's got the right color for a plane, and it's moving on an aero course, and it's not stopping and shooting up and this sort of thing. Yeah. So everybody sees UFOs all the time, and this is a big distinction between a UFO and an advanced craft of some kind. So, a lot of people sort of misinterpret the term UFO or UAP, if you want to call it that now, if you like, whatever floats your boat, right? A lot of people misinterpret that word as meaning definite alien craft, right? But it's not. It encompasses all sorts of things, a lot of which are, of course, completely mundane. Now, I've dealt with, I've actively investigated UFOs now for 17 years, maybe 18 now. It's come to the next year. Probably have to add on one to that. But either way, a long, long time. And I will tell you, the vast majority of things are mundane. And you've always got to take that into account. But at the same time, I've dealt with many, many cases where it's not that, clearly not that. Now, I look for the movement in these objects more than I do for the appearance, right? Because let's say somebody sees a domed disc-shaped thing with rainbow-coloured lights flashing around its centre, and some windows or whatever. Yeah. The trouble is with that, is you've got mundane explanations of what that could be, right? It could be a remote-controlled model that's been made to look like a UFO. I don't know if any of you ever saw this. This is a good while back. This is going back 15, 20 years maybe. There was a TV program. I don't know if you saw this. They made a model UFO on purpose and then started flying it around to see what would happen and to see the public's reaction.
I heard about it. I didn't see it. But
it was very, yeah.
They got loads of reports.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it looked wild, yeah. It was about, I'd say it was about sort of 10 meters across or something. So it was sizable enough, yeah. And when it's up in the air, it was very, very hard to tell exactly how far away it was and therefore how big, yeah. So people were interpreting it as like this massive craft. And, yeah, they were just going absolutely berserk, and obviously, this was before Birmingham UFO Group was even a thing, so we didn't get any reports of this, but I'm sure some UFO groups around the country would have. So looking at the appearance of a thing, you've always got that element that it could be like a fake model that's been made to look like a UFO. Then you've got LED balloons. So most people think of an LED balloon, as a balloon with an LED light in it, right? Like a flash, and it flashes. Yeah. Sometimes it can be like a solo color, like red or just white or whatever. Sometimes it can flash like red, blue, whatever. But some of them are very, very impressive. Some of them are much bigger, have got remote controlled and have sort of color fading and this sort of thing. Yeah. Now, if it's remote controlled, that means that it can do sort of movements like modern day drones can do. Yeah. Not as fast because it's a balloon, right? But it can still change course and that sort of thing. And it can be a weird shape, so it can look like a kind of oval or egg-shaped thing. So most of the things there are things that people used to look for in the past as being a UFO, right? A craft. It's got the shape, it's got like glowing colors, it's performing odd maneuvers. And to all intents and purposes, that can be misinterpreted as a craft and reported as a UFO. Yeah, and the people look into it, and it sounds quite good, doesn't it? So that's why I focus more these days, especially these days. Now we've got drones, yeah, on the movement of these objects, because and I'll tell you, drones have made it a lot more difficult. They've made it really challenging, yeah. Because when I started investigating back in 2007, yeah, drones weren't out then. Drones started about 2011, 2012.
Yeah.
Before drones were around, if an object suddenly stopped and then changed course suddenly rapidly, maybe reverse movement on itself, that would have been considered very, very impressive, especially if it did it with any kind of form of speed and no arc in that turn. Now, drones can do that. And it's very, very difficult because a lot of people misidentify exactly how far away something is from them, especially because you've got no frame of reference in the sky. So I've dealt with cases where people have interpreted what's very, very likely to have been a drone as something much, much bigger at a much further away distance, because you lose all perception as to exactly how far away it is. Now, of course, if you're losing the distance, that means that you're also misinterpreting not only the size of the object, but also how fast it's moving. So you can interpret something that's been much bigger and moving much more quick, and then they might say, oh yeah, it performed this bullet-like maneuver. It suddenly took off, instant acceleration, boom, away it goes. So you have to be very, very careful with that, and drones have made that a lot more challenging. On the plus side, we don't get Chinese lanterns or anything like so often. Did any of you guys see any Chinese lanterns over New Year or not?
No.
Yeah,
nothing.
Not one.
Negative.
Nope. Yeah.
Well,
I
we had
don't even see the ball drop.
freezing fog, so if there were any balloons, I would have been contacting Andy.
And it's because obviously the Far East, so a lot of the time you can still buy them. They're not illegal. Some people believe that Chinese lanterns, sky lanterns, when they call them that, are completely illegal. They're not at all, at least not here in the UK. You can still buy them, but they're just not widely available. You can't buy them in shops because of the fire risk. And actually, a side anecdotal story relating to that.
Just quickly, I actually know a shop where they still sell them, so I'm good.
You do? There you go. You see how daring of them. Very brave.
They're normally the cheapy shops as well, aren't they, that do them?
Chinatown.
I tried this out once because I wanted to see how Chinese lantern would perform and how it would look at different distances. Because I was getting these cases in of these things, and I was like, well, I can easily go and try that out myself, and I can try it in different lighting conditions and everything. So I waited for a particularly, sort of a nice night and everything, no rain or anything, and I set it off. What I didn't realise, even though at ground level, in my garden, the fence was basically sheltering airflows, air currents, so it felt quite still at ground level. So I lit this thing up, and it drifted up, and I got the video camera out and filming it like that, and it gets up to about sort of the height of the roof of the house. And all of a sudden just goes berserk, starts somersaulting and flies down into my next door neighbour's garden. That's it, just slammed the back door, hide, nothing to do with it. Just denied all knowledge.
As the shed goes up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, this is the thing, And I used to write up these reports, and even back then I was like, some of them I'd interpret as sky lanterns, right? And not always, because that's jumping to conclusions again, So people jump to conclusions with this sort of thing. They're like, okay, it's an orange glowing orb of light, right? So therefore, it was a sky lantern. Well, in that terms, what you said, Abbie, that was sky lanterns flying in and out of the woods. It doesn't make any logical sense. Why on earth would there be, and then alongside other white orbs, So I would interpret your thing as not sky lanterns, right? I've dealt with cases where something that, to all intents and purposes, looked like a sky lantern followed vehicle for like numerous miles, making right angle turns with it, keeping the same speed, same distance, and then after a while it would kind of all of a sudden keep going and the car turns and it loses track. But it was quite clearly under some kind of intelligent control, and it was quite clearly checking out the vehicle and remaining with it. But to all intents and purposes, it looked like a sky lantern. Well, unless you say it was a remote-controlled sky lantern, I don't know whether that's a thing or not. Probably not, right? No.
Someone's going to make it a thing now. You watch.
But you don't really get sky lanterns anymore. But
no,
a lot of my earlier cases, you'll see if you go to the Bigfoot website, most of the cases I've investigated over the years have been written up as case reports, and the amount of orange orb sightings, you can just see it, you can plot it on a chart and it'd just be this, there's a heap of them. Because I did used to put out the cases, whether I thought it was a Chinese lantern or not, I would put out the case. So I still write it up, because I think with all of these sightings that take place, I think they're a story that needs to be told, and you've got to look at the kind of pros and cons of a case and not dismiss anything at face value. And people do that all the time. Debunkers and skeptics in the UFO subject, they ignore certain facts, certain aspects of a case to make it fit a mundane explanation. And I've seen this again and again. And you get it with some of the really, really big cases on record.
Anderson Lighthouse.
Anderson Lighthouse.
Debunkers across the board, though, because they'll be like, okay, well, it could have been this if this happened and that happened. Okay, but you're not paying attention to the fact that none of that happened.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And how many things need to be a coincidence, right, before something isn't a coincidence? Yeah.
According to Carl Jung.
Yeah. And then you've got the repeated things that go on again and again. Like, so you might have a particular, if you look at an individual case of something, maybe there's a particular appearance of an object, right? And to all intents and purposes, you could look at that and you could dismiss it as like a weird novelty balloon or something like that, But then you've got 100 other cases also mentioning this same object, looks exactly the same, but in some of those other cases, it's performing extremely advanced maneuvers, How do you chuck out that previous case? You could then look at the other cases and you could be like, okay, so in this first example, it was that same object. It just happened to not perform any advanced maneuvers, because these things perform all sorts of maneuvers, So again and again, I'll see people sort of dismiss. They'll try really, really hard to give it a mundane explanation, instead of looking at all the facts and weighing up the pros and cons of an experience. And a lot of that it's very easy for people to jump to conclusions if you're only looking at a small number of cases. But when you sort of deal with case after case and you see the similarities between things, it becomes harder and harder to deny that there's something very real going on with the subject on a global scale. And people,
they'll be like, oh, okay, it could have been this, it could have been an airplane, it could have been that. It's like, okay, but did you check the flight logs? Did you see if there were any flights in the area? Because as somebody who files a report, that's something that people typically do. They'll be like, okay, well, we tried, when like Andy saw his thing, we contacted hot air balloon companies to say, is this you?
Exactly, you're ticking off the boxes. You're like, okay, it's not that. That can be dismissed. And I'll try to do that. And
just say it was probably a hot air balloon.
It's so easy to do that now as well, because you've got flight trackers that you can get the apps for your phone, so you can, unless they're the military, they're going to show up. You've got satellite and ISS trackers and things like that, so you can track these things that would be the 99% possible calls. So you can rule those out pretty instantly, even on a night watch if you've got good signal.
100%, Which obviously a lot of the time it's very rural, so you don't, right? But on many of us watches, we've seen things, and then we've checked out flight tracker right there and then, and confirmed it's an aircraft, and I've also seen the ISS on one of our sky watches in Cradle Hill, not Cradle Hill. Cannock Chase. Sorry, Cannock Chase, nice. Obviously known area for all sorts of activity. And we saw the ISS, and it looked amazing. We were at the top of the hill, and this object it clearly looked like it was in the atmosphere. It was bright. It was it's this white ball of light. And I was like, wow, that looks impressive. And somebody's like, I bet it's the ISS. So we got the ISS tracker, and it was the ISS, to them, went right around the Earth. We saw it later on in the same Skywatch. So, but to all intents and purposes, if you didn't have the ISS tracker, if you saw that, you'd be like, wow, that's like a spacecraft.
That's the first thing you do, though. Even when I see stuff outside of mine, and you get a lot over talk here, the first thing I do is like, ISS, where are you? Because it is the first thing you do.
Absolutely. But at the same time, as all of this, because a lot of people view me as quite a grounded, sort of skeptical researcher, and to an extent I am, but you have to be, otherwise you go down the rabbit hole with this, So I am grounded with it, but at the same time, I don't dismiss it. If somebody comes to me and they talk in depth with me about having a close encounter where it was an obvious structured craft, and maybe they've seen beings come out of it or anything, who am I to say to that person, oh, they must be lying, because it was a person go, that straight away, they're lying, they're making it up. Why? Right, okay, so people, they don't really have that much to gain when they come and speak with me. All they've got to do, they're losing a lot of their time to go over their experience with me in depth. They're very, very, a lot of the time they're not in it for any kind of form of fame or fortune or anything like that. So a lot of the time they'll ask me to remove their real names from a report or their address and that sort of thing. What's that telling you? That's telling you immediately that they don't care about any kind of personal fame or fortune from it.
Well, it's not
they're
just that.
Actively avoiding that. They're like, no, I don't want people to know who I am.
Ridicule. It could be trauma. It could be all sorts. They could be, why they don't want to put their name to it.
Yeah, but it's very difficult unless you do some direct investigation to interpret that and to see that firsthand. Because it's very easy for somebody to, like, if I investigate a case and I say I sat with the person for 30 hours or whatever, we went through all the details. I absolutely believe them to the letter that it was a real experience, and I believe it was involving advanced craft or beings or whatever. You can interpret where those beings have come from, whether they're truly alien or not. You could talk in those sort of things all day long, right? But unless you've been there and seen that firsthand, how can my statement mean anything to somebody who wasn't there? They can dismiss that and they can say, oh, the person was quite clearly making it up and just for whatever reason coming up with this story for hours and hours. But it happens a lot less than people give it credit for. I've spoken with many people over the years who believe that there are hoaxers and storytellers everywhere with this subject, and they genuinely are not. I can tell you that over 95% of the cases I've looked into, maybe even 99%, I believe that the person has seen something, right? They might be misinterpreting it, and they might be like seeing a sky lantern or whatever, or a solar airship or whatever, and then misinterpreting it as something more unusual, right? But they're doing it in open honesty. They're coming to me and they're saying, I believe I've seen a spacecraft. And sometimes they haven't, and I'll tell them. But it's a fascinating subject.
Yeah.
Guess what?
It's gone time.
First gongs of 2026. Andy, you've struck more times than Big Ben did the other night.
Wow. Someone's got to. No. Thank you all so much for coming on, and I'm glad the subjects and topics that you got. It was fun.
And
I was very worried with that wild card. I thought it was going to get, I don't know, dinosaur sightings, real life dinosaur sightings.
No, Andy can get that one.
Yeah, we'll pass that one to Andy.
I can do that one.
Yeah, absolutely. Komodo dragons.
But next time we speak, Dave, I'll have to tell you about the car headlight I seen going through the tree branches in daylight. It was like a headlight unit, and it was just going through the trees. But
cool.
I'll talk to you about that.
Is that recent thing that's gone on?
About 6 years ago.
Oh right, okay. Yeah, I don't think we've talked about that.
No, I've not really spoke about this much.
Yeah.
Ooh. We want to hear about it. Monday.
Yes. Well, we'll talk about it Monday because we've got Micheal coming on Monday if she doesn't die over the weekend.
No doubt.
But she has said if she does die, we can use a Ouija board and she'll tell us about a UFO experience that way. Might be a bit long-winded, but we'll get there.
Don't you think, though, with what we do, how we investigate and the things we do, that we have these experiences and these crazy experiences that we do have for a reason?
Because, like a community.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Can be. I sometimes interpret it as how common the experiences are, and I think that I think that like a lot of things, both ghost sightings, UFOs, whatever, Bigfoot, everything, I think that it's a lot more common than people give it credit for because we're only seeing the tip of the iceberg, and most cases don't get reported. They just get
a lot of people just brush it off.
Yeah.
It's like when I've had mine counters, it's like, oh yeah, I've seen that. Anyway, I'll carry on doing what I'm doing. I don't think too deep into it.
Well, if you didn't do what you do and do this, you probably wouldn't even think twice about it.
No.
You're like, oh, that was a little weird, and then just go on with your life.
Yeah.
Exactly, 100%. So I just want to
I
thank.
don't think seeing is believing, though. I wouldn't. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt you again.
No, you're all right.
I just want to say, I do want to say this, to the listeners, right? Seeing is not believing yet, right? It's really not yet, because I hear this off people. Oh, if I see an alien, and it comes up and slaps me in the face, then I'll believe, right? You don't need that yet. All you need to do is look at the evidence on record. Yeah, the evidence on record for both the existence of the supernatural, the existence of non-human entities, whatever you want to call them. I'm not saying they're definitely from like another planet or whatever, believe what you will. The evidence for Bigfoot, the evidence for cryptids, is absolutely massive. There's so many cases on record. You don't need to have an experience yourself to believe I believe in the existence, the reality of the UFO subject. I believe that for many years before I finally had a sighting in 2009. So, I don't think you need that direct evidence to tip you over that point. I think just look into it in depth. Sorry, there definitely. You go on.
No, you're all right.
You want to gong me again if you want.
Keep getting tired over there. Look at him. It's late.
Me, I got like 3 hours sleep last night. So it's just been Christmas, New Year. It's just sleepless is what it is.
All right, do your thing, Andy. Anyway. When are we back?
So, just going to say thank you, all of you, for coming on. Absolutely loved it.
Been a pleasure meeting you all.
Stuff going on, and it was a good range of topics as well, I think. So
and a good range of people.
Good spectrum, yes, definitely. So, myself and Abbie are back on Monday with Micheal, if she's breathing. She's going to talk about her encounter. I'll mention about the headlight in the trees. And then we are back. There will be one going out on Wednesday for Encyclopedia of the Unknown. It's going to be pre-recorded at some point tomorrow, Nicole. Just to remind you, in case you forgot.
I didn't forget. I was ready last weekend.
I wasn't even here last weekend. I was up in Manchester. And then we're not on next Friday.
Right.
And the reason that we're not on is I am on Paranormal Online.
Yes.
Past 9. The one that Neil Packer's doing.
Yeah.
So I'm talking on that 9:30 next Friday. And then we'll be back again the following Monday and then back to normal. That is it. We have got some guests coming back on. I'm just waiting for them to confirm actual dates. But they're going to be coming on the Friday, the odd one on the Monday. And that's it. So anyone got anything else to add before we wrap this up?
Just want to say Happy New Year to everybody and all the viewers.
Yeah. Happy
New
Year.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. See you all later. See you Monday. 7:30 UK time, 2:30 EST, 11:30 AM PST, and I cannot be asked with all the other time zones. Sorry. Too many. Too many. Right. See you all Monday. Have a great weekend. Thanks again. Thank you, everybody in the chat, moderators. A lot. Bye-bye.
Bye.